Chosen one, stop for a moment and listen carefully. What you are about to hear is not random, it is not late, and it is not something that just happens to cross your path. This message was sent directly to your spirit. Heaven has intentionally targeted you because there is a specific reason you are hearing these words today. God is sounding an alarm, not to scare you, but to position you, protect you, and empower you for what lies ahead. If you feel the weight of this message in your spirit, do not scroll past it. The urgency of this word cannot be overstated. You are being singled out because God is preparing you differently from everyone else. The first 3 days of this year, January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, are not ordinary. They are not just dates on a calendar. They are spiritually charged gateways. What happens in these first 3 days sets the tone, the momentum, and the alignment for everything that will unfold in the months ahead. These days carry unusual spiritual traffic. Decisions are being made in the unseen realm. Alignments are forming. Destinies are being negotiated. And God is calling you to stay spiritually awake. This is not a suggestion. It is a command from heaven. Pray without ceasing. This is not poetic language or a gentle nudge. This is divine instruction. When God issues an emergency alert, it means silence is dangerous. It means distraction is costly. The enemy would love nothing more than for you to drift, scroll, sleep spiritually, and treat these days casually. But God is saying, stay with me. Not because he is angry, but because he is guarding something precious in you. Your prayer now is not ritual, it is protection. Your communion with God is not pressure, it is coverage. Whisper prayers, short prayers, silent prayers, worshipful prayers, honest prayers. God is not asking for perfection. He is asking for presence. These first 3 days are about staying tuned to his voice, refusing spiritual numbness, and choosing awareness over comfort. What you pray through now, you won't have to fight later. Heaven is calling you to anchor yourself in God before the year begins to move. Before we go further, respond now if your spirit confirms this word. Like this message to show your agreement. Subscribe so you don't miss the next instruction heaven releases. Drop your city and nation in the comments so we can see where the remnant is rising across the earth. And to those who are giving into this ministry, understand clearly that you are not just supporters, you are co-laborers. Your seed is prophetic, it speaks when words alone cannot. It declares, Lord, I take your warning seriously and I align with what you are doing. Heaven is intentional and your action in response is part of his plan. Stay with me, do not scroll away. What I am about to reveal next explains why these first 3 days matter so much and what happens when you obey this instruction fully. These days are not casual, they are thresholds. They are spiritual gateways that will influence everything that comes after. Chosen one, the first 3 days are not random, they are sacred. How you respond now will echo throughout your year. Beginnings matter to God more than most people realize. What starts aligned often continues aligned. What starts confused usually requires great effort to correct. God places emphasis on beginnings because they determine direction, tone, and spiritual alignment for everything that follows. Consider how he worked in Scripture. In Genesis 1, God did not create randomly. He spoke order, structure, and light before anything else existed. Before anything could function, alignment was established. In Exodus 12, God changed Israel's calendar before he changed their situation. Transformation begins with spiritual alignment. In Joshua 3:5, he told his people to consecrate themselves before performing wonders. Even Jesus, the Son of God, withdrew early to pray before stepping into his ministry with power. The pattern is clear: preparation precedes manifestation. This is why prayer is not optional in these days. Prayer is not begging, pleading, or desperation. Prayer is governance. Prayer is alignment with heaven. Prayer is authority in action. When you pray, you are not informing God of your problems. He already knows. Prayer is how heaven is given access to intervene where resistance stands. James 16 says the fervent prayer of a righteous person avails much. This is not passive language. This is spiritual power being exercised. Prayer shifts atmospheres. Prayer breaks cycles. Prayer rewrites timelines. What appeared delayed can accelerate. What seemed permanent can be overturned. Prayer gives God legal access to intervene in your life. Some battles you faced last year were spiritual. Spiritual battles cannot be won through strength, effort, or intellect. They are won on your knees. There are moments on the calendar that carry spiritual weight, and the start of a year is one of them. What is established early governs what unfolds later. The enemy understands this principle perfectly. He studies seasons, openings, and patterns. If he can distract you at the beginning, dull your awareness, or keep you spiritually asleep, he can delay your momentum for months without direct confrontation. That is why many people begin the year tired, distracted, and prayerless. They drift, and that drift weakens direction. But you are not many people. You are hearing this because God is calling you out of autopilot. He is interrupting routine passivity and unconscious living. He is saying clearly, do not drift into this year. Enter it intentionally. Prayer sharpens discernment, strengthens focus, and keeps your spirit awake. To pray without ceasing does not mean endless speech or ritualistic repetition. It means continual communion with God. It means your heart acknowledges Him in every moment. It means you invite Him before decisions, before actions, and even in ordinary moments. When things go well, you thank Him. When things feel heavy, you lean on Him. When answers are unclear, you return to Him again and again. Prayer becomes your reflex, not your last resort. Before anxiety rises, pray. Before frustration grows, pray. Before mistakes are made, pray. Consistent, intentional prayer rewrites your spiritual temperature. What you set at the beginning determines how the environment feels later. Beginnings create atmosphere. They establish tone, rhythm, and spiritual direction long before results are visible. If you begin distracted, rushed, or spiritually silent, that energy carries forward. But if you begin alert, sensitive to God, and anchored in prayer, you establish authority and momentum that cannot be easily overturned. The first 3 days are not about performance. They are about posture, surrender, alignment, and sensitivity. When God leads from the beginning, peace, clarity, and authority follow for the rest of the year. Chosen one, these days are your spiritual foundation. What you do now will ripple through every area of your life. Do not underestimate their power. Stay awake, pray, align, consecrate, protect your spirit through presence, not perfection. Heaven is watching. Your prayers are not in vain. Your obedience now will secure doors, opportunities, and blessings that casual engagement cannot reach. Do not scroll past this moment. Your destiny is responding to how you enter this year. Anchor yourself in God, stay alert, pray without ceasing. You were chosen to hear this, you are being positioned. Do not miss this divine alignment, chosen one. Hear this clearly, the first 3 days of this year are not ordinary. They are not moments to drift through or dates to overlook. They are sacred thresholds, spiritually charged gateways that carry more weight than most people realize. What you do, how you respond, and the posture of your heart in these days will shape the momentum, direction, and alignment for everything that unfolds in the months ahead. These 3 days establish your spiritual temperature. They determine how you will move through challenges, decisions, and opportunities later in the year. God is intentional about beginnings because He knows that what starts aligned will continue aligned, and what starts confused often requires great effort to correct. The natural world demonstrates this principle. The strength of a building is determined by the foundation it is built on. If the foundation is weak, the structure cannot withstand pressure. In the spiritual realm, it is the same. The way you begin determines the trajectory of your year. Scripture repeatedly reveals this pattern. Before creation, God did not act impulsively or randomly. In Genesis 1, He spoke order, light, and structure into existence before anything else could function. Before Israel experienced deliverance, God reset their calendar in Exodus 12, signaling that transformation often begins with spiritual realignment rather than external change. In Joshua 3:5, He instructed His people to consecrate themselves before the miraculous move of God could occur. Even Jesus, the Son of God, withdrew early to pray in Mark 13:35, establishing his alignment before stepping into ministry with power. The pattern is consistent preparation always precedes manifestation. That is why God is calling you to prayer in these first 3 days, not just any prayer, but prayer with intention, awareness, and continual connection. Prayer is not about begging or informing God of your needs. He already knows. Prayer is not about impressing others or demonstrating religious activity. God is not interested in ritual without heart. Prayer is spiritual governance, authority in action, and an invitation for heaven to intervene in earthly matters. James 50:16 tells us that the fervent, righteous prayer avails much. These are not idle words. They reveal the immense power you exercise when you align yourself with heaven through prayer. Prayer shifts atmospheres. It breaks cycles. It disrupts patterns of delay, confusion, stagnation, and repetition. It rewrites timelines. What once seemed delayed can accelerate. What appeared impossible can be overturned. Prayer opens spiritual doors and gives God legal access to act where resistance stands. Many battles from last year were not physical. They were spiritual, fought in the unseen realm. And spiritual battles are not won through strength, strategy, or intellect. They are won on your knees with faith, obedience, and alignment. The first 3 days of this year carry a weight of opportunity that the enemy fully understands. He knows that if he can dull your awareness, distract you, or allow you to drift spiritually during these days, he can delay momentum for months without direct confrontation. That is why so many people begin the year distracted, wary, and prayerless. They drift, and subtle drift can steal direction, delay breakthroughs, and rob them of spiritual authority. But chosen one, you are not like everyone else. You are hearing this message because God is calling you out of spiritual autopilot. He is interrupting routine passivity and unconscious living. He is saying clearly, do not enter this year by accident. Enter intentionally. Prayer is your weapon, your shield, and your alignment. To pray without ceasing does not mean exhausting yourself with long speeches or religious repetition. It means living in continual communion with God. It means your heart remains aware of Him in every moment. Before you make decisions, consult Him. Before you act, align with Him. Before you speak, listen to His voice. Prayer becomes your reflex, not your last resort. When anxiety rises, pray. When frustration builds, pray. When opportunities seem unclear, pray. Prayer protects your mind, sharpens your spiritual discernment, and governs your steps. These first 3 days are not about performance, they are about posture. They are about surrender, sensitivity, and alignment. Surrendering your control, aligning your will with God's, and sharpening your spiritual sensitivity ensures that the year begins with divine guidance, not human strategy. Think of these days like setting the temperature in a room. If you start distracted, cold, or spiritually asleep, that atmosphere will follow you into your decisions, priorities, and responses. But if you begin spiritually alert, on fire, and connected to God, your alignment will influence every situation that follows. The first 3 days are your spiritual foundation, and your prayers are the anchor that stabilizes it. Chosen one, God is calling you to cultivate a rhythm of constant connection, not to chase fleeting emotional highs. This is not about exhaustion, it is about consistency. Consistent prayer breaks cycles, strengthens faith, and secures your spiritual positioning for the rest of the year. Your obedience now will open doors that strategies alone cannot. Your alignment now will create momentum that cannot easily be reversed. Heaven is watching, and your actions in these days matter more than you realize. You are being positioned to step into your destiny with clarity, power, and authority. Prayer is not only preparation, it is access. Access to guidance, favor, protection, and provision. Prayer sharpens your discernment, revealing paths that appear hidden and opening doors that logic alone cannot unlock. It protects your decisions from error and delays. It positions you to respond with wisdom instead of reaction, peace instead of panic, and confidence instead of confusion. These first 3 days are about posture over performance, awareness over drift, and alignment over autopilot. They are about establishing spiritual authority, securing guidance and setting your year in motion according to God's design. Your prayers in these days are the foundation of everything to come. The enemy knows this, and that is why he will try to distract you. But when you respond in faith, you establish momentum that the enemy cannot easily overcome. Chosen one, stay awake, pray, align, consecrate. Protect your spirit through presence, not perfection. Heaven is intentional, and your obedience is part of his plan. Do not underestimate the power of these 3 days. Your prayers, your surrender, and your spiritual awareness will ripple through your year, shaping your decisions, your opportunities, and your alignment with God's will. Stay alert, stay connected. Pray without ceasing. You were chosen to hear this. You are being positioned. Do not miss this divine alignment. Chosen one, hear me clearly. This message is not meant to frighten you, it is meant to activate you. God is calling you into partnership, inviting you to step into alignment and authority over your life. You are not powerless. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are being positioned by God himself. The first 3 days of this year are more than just dates. They are gateways, thresholds through which your destiny begins to take shape. How you enter them will determine how you walk through the rest of the year. Maybe you are thinking, I prayed last year, I fasted, I waited, nothing changed. Hear this gently: delay is not denial. God's timing is perfect and prayer is never wasted. What prayer often does first is change you, your perspective, your heart, your sensitivity. And when you change, your environment eventually follows. This year is not a repetition of last year. God specializes in fresh starts. He declares in Isaiah 4:19, behold, I do a new thing, now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? He is releasing new opportunities, new favor, and new breakthrough. Prayer is your access to this newness. It clears confusion, sharpens discernment, and ensures that you step into the right doors at the right time. The enemy fears these first 3 days because they carry authority. When you pray, you are not simply asking God to act, you are exercising the spiritual authority he has given you. You are aligning with heaven and positioning yourself to walk in clarity, peace, and victory. Prayer is not a last resort, it is your first response. It is the lens through which you view decisions, challenges, and opportunities. When prayer becomes your lifestyle, confusion loses its power, and your spirit becomes sensitive to God's guidance. You learn to recognize the doors that look good but are wrong, and the paths that seem easy but are not ordained. Prayer becomes your protection, your guidance, and your power. These 3 days are your spiritual foundation. The enemy may try to distract you with noise, business, or weariness. He may whisper lies that it is too late, that your prayers are ineffective, or that hope is gone. But God says differently. Hope is alive because he is alive. Your faith is not in vain. Your obedience now establishes momentum that cannot easily be reversed. The first 3 days are not about performance, they are about posture. They are about surrendering your will to God, aligning your heart with his, and allowing him to set the pace and direction of your life. Chosen one, when God leads from the beginning, peace follows, clarity follows, authority follows. Some doors will not open through strategy. Some breakthroughs cannot be engineered by human effort. They require spiritual access, alignment, and partnership with heaven. Jeremiah 33 says, call to me and I will answer you, and show you great and mighty things which you do not know. God is inviting you to call, not to stress, to pray, not to panic, to wait on him, not to run ahead in your own strength. Your obedience now will activate doors that human wisdom cannot reach. These 3 days are your sacred altar. Every prayer you offer, every moment you stay alert, every act of consecration positions you for divine favor. Do not underestimate their power. God is setting things in motion on your behalf. Whatever you sow in prayer now will multiply in ways you cannot yet see. Your first response should be alignment, not anxiety. Your first act should be prayer, not panic. Your first choice should be connection, not distraction. Chosen one, heaven is listening. Your prayers are powerful. They shape your environment. They secure your path. They guard your decisions. And they invite God's intervention where human effort cannot reach. As you step into January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, let these days be consecrated, set apart, and soaked in prayer. Let them be more than dates, they are spiritual milestones that will define your year. Let your spirit rise in expectation, your heart in surrender, and your mind in clarity. Let prayer become your lifeline, your compass, and your source of strength. Remember, consistency is key. Luke 8:1 reminds us that men ought always to pray and not lose heart. Breakthrough is rarely about intensity alone. It is about consistency. It is about building a rhythm of communion with God that becomes second nature. Peace replaces anxiety. Direction replaces confusion. Strength replaces weariness. Faith replaces fear. Prayer does not drain, it renews, it equips, it empowers. Chosen one, this is your call to move. This is your opportunity to step into alignment with heaven. God is already ahead of you. He has already mapped the path. He has already seen the end from the beginning. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you a future and a hope. Your destiny is secure in Him. Hope is your inheritance. Clarity is your portion. Victory is your assignment." In these first 3 days, choose prayer over distraction. Choose alignment over noise. Choose intimacy over anxiety. Choose surrender over control. Let these moments ignite a fire in your spirit. Let your foundation rise strong, anchored in the presence and power of God. Let the enemy find you alert, aware, and armored with prayer. Let heaven move on your behalf in ways that cannot be measured or resisted. Chosen one, heaven is responding to your obedience. The first 3 days are your advantage. The prayers you pray, the posture you adopt, and the alignment you maintain will echo throughout your year. You are not entering this year alone. God goes before you, surrounds you, and equips you. You are chosen, appointed, and empowered. Your actions now secure your path. Your prayers now establish authority. Your obedience now invites breakthrough. Do not take these days lightly. Stay alert. Pray without ceasing. Align, consecrate, surrender. Step into your destiny with faith, hope, and boldness. The first 3 days are sacred. They are charged. They are your spiritual foundation. Heaven is listening, and your prayers are powerful. Walk in this truth. Act in this authority. And know with confidence that your year will respond to the alignment and obedience you establish now.